let's go on the journey. A journey where a game rises and falls just as quickly. For me, the story begins in 2018, just before the release of this game. The trailer drops. It's one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. I'm only 3 years or so back into gaming, probably 2 years into gaming, and this game promised so much. A multiplayer, great graphics, so much that I was looking for in the game. I know. I got the baby with me, so you'll be hearing some goos and gas and coos. She's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We'll hear a story. It's a bedtime story, okay? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna watch the trailer that I saw, watch the trailer I found, and then we're gonna walk through the beginnings of Anthem, and then walk through the ends of Anthem, right? And then we're gonna watch the gameplay, all the cutscenes, and then this will be how I pay homage to one of the best games that I've played in a long time. The only game that did something for me besides this was Destiny, and I kind of hated that people call this like the Destiny killer or whatever. Because to me, it wasn't that. It was more than that. It was because I actually escaped. It was like playing an old school RPG just with friends or even randos. Finding people who just stomp the dungeons because they have all the best gear and they just leading the way, holding your hand. Then finding the noobs that needed you to hold their hand. Oh, what a time to be alive. Alright. What it do, peeps? It's me and the baby. It's gonna be a bedtime story for her. You ready? You ready to see Anthem? Okay. Like I said, we'll watch a few videos of people that left reviews for the game. I might make this my actually theme song for my channel. I might steal it, but it's okay. We're gonna watch the first few trailers, watch the tips and tricks, watch the javelin breakdowns, then watch as things start to fall off for Anthem. I almost cried making the. I almost cried doing the whole the thumbnail and everything like that. It's just a lot, man. Lots to take on. But let's get to it. Let's get to it. This is the thriller that I saw.
The gods vanished and left our world in chaos, creating, altering, destroying. The Anthem is all that remains.
There's a storm coming. These walls can't protect us forever.
Something is out there. It wants to destroy us all.
sold. Sold. And then this is what I missed, but
Hi,
I found
I'm
it.
John Warner, game director for Anthem. Hey!
You never saw this. You never saw this happen. Oh man. This gave me Assassin's Creed type vibes, you know, like a immersive Assassin's Creed.
Praxley,
Listen, there's trouble.
So
Big trouble.
what did you do?
I made a mistake. I hired
Praxley.
some people. They weren't freelancers. I know. They said they could handle it, and the price was right. I thought maybe...
Unbelievable.
You're right. It was stupid. I'm sorry. But they're still out there. Somewhere. If you could just bring them back. Anything you need.
This gave me chills, man.
In the world of Anthem, you and your friends are freelancers, the heroes who leave the safety of the walls of Fort Tarsus to explore the unknown and protect humanity. Let's join two players as they head out on an expedition.
Hey, Paul. You ready to go?
We're just grabbing some supplies. Just about ready.
What are you going to use today?
I decided to go with the Colossus.
I'm going to use my Ranger. Try out some new upgrades.
Bless you.
Every player will own an array of exosuits we call Javelins. These suits
Javelin.
give players superhuman capabilities and are heavily customizable so they look and play how you want.
Bam. Looking good. Nice. You've got a mortar equipped.
Yeah, I got it on the weekend. You lead the way, I'll follow.
And it's taking me back.
This is a vast open world you explore with your friends. Each Javelin exosuit has its own unique playstyle. The Ranger is balanced and all-purpose, while the Colossus is a tanking powerhouse.
All right. Let's see what's up here.
The world of Anthem is hostile, and threats can come from any direction. It's a dynamic world where the
Close.
unexpected is around every corner.
I'm not sure we want to use all our supplies on this guy.
Yeah, he seems like a problem for another day.
We're getting some fire from up ahead.
I'll go low. You flank.
Water. But this game had so much potential. These are scars.
Hang in there. Almost there. Have you been in there yet?
I haven't. We should do that later with Kim.
Yeah, you could use the XP. Hello, treasure.
So I kind of like that you could find different missions while just exploring the open world. It was pretty cool.
I think we got some action up ahead.
Anyone, we're under attack. Anyone in the area, we're under attack.
I think that's part of Prax's mission.
You can equip your Javelin exosuit with gear that brings
These things
devastating
never
power to
walked in
combat.
the wild ever. This was the biggest letdown. One of the biggest letdowns.
Oh, there are a lot of scars down there. Oh, the scars have a heavy.
Time to use that mortar.
Man's in a suit, yeah, man. Oh, that's not me playing. This is a video.
Give me some covering fire.
I'm watching the Anthem trailer. They're about to put down Anthem for good.
There's a bunch more coming in.
Okay, I'll get this round.
Oh, use that ult. Use that ult. A legendary drop? Yeah, right.
Oh, come on. Be something good. Oh, yes! Jar's Wrath.
Oh, nice.
But you couldn't swap
Large-scale
equipment in the
movements
field, I don't
like
think.
Shaper storms are dynamic and pull you off
Anthem
the
was a
beaten
decent...
path,
It was, man. It
promising
was.
new stories to discover.
Oh, Shaper Storm incoming. Okay, actually, let's get some more people. Hold on a sec.
Kim.
Hey guys, what's up?
Sandra.
Hey, what's happening? Right behind you.
Squad up. Stronger together.
Whoa. This storm is getting crazy. So what are we supposed to do? Fly into it?
All right, let's do this.
See you on the other side.
Our story is out there.
Take my money. Man. And now we're gonna look at the suit up animations. It's okay. Thank you. So we got a ranger. Oh, that's just how I look when I suit up. Let's see. Anthem leaving us? Yeah, they putting it down, man. Alright, I don't think I want to watch this suit up. And I guess we can watch this suit up. Let's see. Alright, just a waste of time. I don't care how they suit up. We're gonna look at the showcase. So, just about every week they would drop the new Colossus. Sorry, the new Javelin for us to look at. And everybody was trying to say, oh, we're gonna be this, we're gonna be that, because we couldn't wait. To the Interceptor, the Ranger, the Storm. Hit him. Just give the IP to the people else, keep the game alive. Facts. Bosses, baby. Everybody can fly. That's useless. Woo! Pretty sure like people could probably take Anthem and make it great again, make it something better than it was. Oh, I miss my Storm so much. Hit him. Light him up, light him up. Hit him. Listen, I miss this game so much. I played it in 2022, and I was gonna play it again, just to like, just before it ended. Alright, let's go. ABC Gamer.
Are eager to slide into their very own freelancer supersuit, with cool clicky metal bits and that off-yellow padding stuff that I'm sure smells like the inside of a ski glove. If you're like me and thought you'd be able to jump into Anthem and get a really versatile experience, swapping out suits on a whim, that ain't gonna happen. With only one Javelin unlock available to you for the first 6 or so hours of gameplay, and no option to repick even if you restart the game, you're gonna want to make sure that
you have chosen wisely.
With new unlocks available at levels 8, 16 and 26, it's a much more regimented experience than expected. Thankfully, they're all fun to play, so there's no bad choices, just wrong ones.
So they were all good to use. They were all fun.
Ah, the good old Ranger. This is the jack of all trades, Goldilocks of the Javelin arsenal. Not too fast, not too slow, not too strong, but not too weak. It's just right, in a kind of boring, predictable, but undeniably effective way. If copyright law didn't exist, BioWare would have just come out and called this one Iron Man. Shooting a spark beam, pulse blasts, and heat-seeking missiles from his arms, the Ranger also keeps mobs in check with a range of tactical grenades. And when the going gets tough, it can deploy a bubble shield for you and your allies to hide in, or alternatively, an offensive bubble can boost weapon damage for all. And for that perfect bowl of lukewarm, porridgey destruction, its ultimate will fill the skies and rain down homing missiles, which is never unsatisfying. Pick this Javelin if you need the vanilla experience and always choose
first one
the
you
default
pick.
character.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to learn here, so you'll be kicking butt straight out of the gates.
Ooh, Colossus.
Ah, the good old Colossus. This is the big daddy of the bunch, the Papa Bear,
Yes,
the big
sir.
prawn, El Mucho Grande. You get the picture, it's the tank. Built for getting in there and soaking up damage like a giant masochistic metal sponge. Wielding an enormous shield allows the Big C to absorb huge amounts of damage, useful when comboed with the ability to aggro surrounding enemies and draw attacks away from your teammates. Output damage comes in the form of multi-target missile barrages, artillery, flame and acid attacks, and the Colossus is the only Javelin strong enough to carry heavy weapons.
Papa Bear, yes sir.
Finally, when you gotta show him who's boss, your ultimate siege cannon attack is perfect for real-time area denial, wave clearing, and massive
That's
pain removal during
crazy.
boss fights.
Hit him.
Pick this Javelin if you thrive being on the front lines and leaving a heavy trail of destruction in your wake. Ah, the good old Storm. This one's for all you wizards,
My favorite.
wizards, mages, and spellcasters.
Yes,
out there.
sir.
It may be a little thin-skinned, but this agile Javelin with its extended flight time and ranged attacks is perfect for
Hit
standing
'em.
back and calling the shots.
Hit him.
Complete with a flowing and fabulous cape, the Storm gets a shield buff while hovering above the battle and can unleash waves of powerful elemental area of effect attacks, freezing, flaming, and electrifying targets from up on high. Many of these moves can also be used to set up combo damage when combined with the correct allied
Ice and
attacks.
lightning,
A
baby.
mechanic applicable to all Javelins, but is easiest to get to grips with from a bird's eye perspective. Support abilities include a quickening field that reduces the cooldown time of abilities for both you and your allies, and when you need a bit of protection, chuck up a handy wind wall of air to protect you.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Air. Storm's ultimate is the perfect devastating move to save for a rainy day, calling down multiple massive targeted elemental blasts that will leave any crowd or boss wishing they brought
Hi-ya.
an umbrella.
Yeah.
Pick this Javelin if you're a team player, because
Oh,
you're going to be
yeah.
setting up the pins for your heavy hitters to knock down. Or if you just want to be the fanciest
Grok
freelancer,
also
that
can
would be-
support.
The good old
Interceptor.
If you're more of a slicey dicey rather than shooty tooty type, then this is the one for you. It's the fastest and most nimble of the javelins, designed for getting up close and personal, then getting back out again before anyone knows what hit them. It's got a stylish triple jump and triple dash, both perfect for zipping around the battlefield, and you'll never be short of tactical options thanks to an arsenal of elemental shurikens, mines, acid sprays, and a hauntingly effective wraith strike, which sends a ghostly projection forward to strike and spook. And when you just really want to tear some shit up, your ultimate Assassin's Blade will fling you bouncing between foes like an Arkham game, while multiplying damage as each attack repeats as an echo. Great for carving into super buff bosses, just make sure to get out of there before they notice. Pick this javelin if you love being in amongst the action, and you want to feel like the coolest kid on the block slicing watermelons in your backyard with a samurai sword you bought off eBay. I never did that, I promise. So there you have it, fresh off-the-line super suits at your disposal. Hopefully now you have enough information to guide you in the right direction for your
Storm is always the
playstyle.
best, okay guys? Storm is the best.
So with Anthem soon entering its last month before release, I know a lot of
Korea's
you guys
Gaming did a lot of
are
Anthem
waiting to play
videos.
the game and doing test runs of all of the
Had to give
javelins
him a
before
shout out,
deciding their
man.
mains. Since they all play out so differently from one another, having different combat styles and powers, picking one up might not be such an easy task as it might seem. You might be tempted now to go for a Colossus for example, or a Storm, but you would be surprised how difficult that decision can be once you get to play with all of them, as they all feel powerful in their very own unique ways. In an attempt to help you guys make a general impression of all of the javelins, in today's video I'm going to go over all of the different playstyles they have, as well as the different ways they all be contributing on the battlefield. I'm not going to go over a full breakdown of all of the javelin skills though, as that would exceed the purpose of this.
That's enough. Now we're doing the tips and
Grace here
tricks.
with some more Anthem tips and tricks
Yes.
to talk about. The game is finally out for everybody, or should be by the time this video gets posted, which is why I wanted to cover some of the stuff that Anthem doesn't fully explain to players outright, or at least not until a lot of digging and experimenting with the various mechanics is being done. This also comes as a response to the huge amount of questions that I'm getting on all of my Anthem videos, so if you're a newcomer or even a more experienced player, they should all prove useful to you. Now, one of the first things you'll ever see after getting your first items, especially the higher quality ones, is the fact that they all have certain bonuses as well as icons next to them. While the bonuses are for the most part self-explanatory, the icons not so much, specifically the cog and the suit. The difference between these two is rather simple though, and it boils down to this. The suit icon will show bonuses that applies to your entire javelin and everything else you have equipped on it. Meanwhile, the cog icon indicates strictly the bonuses that applies to the item it's currently on. So to give you an example, let's take this Winter's Wrath Blast Seal, which has 3 suit bonuses as well as 1 for gear. The 3 suit bonuses, which are the heavy pistol damage, the assault rifle ammo increase, as well as the repair amount, affect the entire javelin and whatever else there is equipped on it that might benefit from these buffs. Meanwhile, the cog icon with the 75% damage increase only refers to the current blast seal, and in this case the Winter's Wrath, and this means that the Winter's Wrath will have an additional 75% damage.
Watch this either. We're watching this. This is the downfall.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Direct Comparison.
Nick
In
930.
episode, we're looking at the recently released Anthem and seeing how it compares to its initial
There we
2017 E3 gameplay debut.
That's what we're looking at
In
now.
this video, I'll be running Anthem on the PC with an RTX 2080 Ti, an i7 8700K processor, and 32GB of RAM.
It's back in the day,
All the
huh?
game's graphical settings are running at the highest options, but I will be disabling the motion blur setting to provide more clear images. Also, bear in mind that the footage on the left will appear blurrier because of both motion blur and the YouTube compression. And to help keep this organized and simple to follow, I'm just going to run straight through the original E3 reveal and compare everything one scene at a time, pointing out things like lighting, textures, and most of all, changes made to the game world, which there's quite a few of. So let's jump right into it with our introductory sequence at Fort Tarsus.
Exactly, look,
In the
it
E3
doesn't
demo,
move.
the player reaches out and pulls a red cloth out of the way to unveil a bustling market scene with several NPCs and impressive display of lighting and shadows. In the final retail version, there is no cloth doorway, and instead, a large wooden door is used to access the same area.
That's fine, that's fine.
The bazaar has had its number of NPCs reduced substantially, and their
Sheesh.
animations have been simplified as well. The various smaller objects around this market have also been removed, including many of the extra cables, baskets, and bowls that help to enhance the scene. And the overall size of the market has also been reduced. The lighting has also been downgraded by a large margin, with much less bloom, weaker global illumination, and less volumetric light. The gigantic looming strider that stomps into the scene in the E3 demo is now completely stationary in the final retail game. and the cloth simulation from the various stalls in the bazaar has been reduced, with the edges of the cloth not moving nearly as much as before. The scene feels less cinematic and far less impressive as a result. As the player moves down the busy street, a character walks out from between the stands and begins talking to the player. Not only do NPCs not act this dynamically in the final game, but this character, Paxley, does not exist at all in the retail. In fact, his mission, Hell or High Water, which is used throughout this E3 demonstration, does not exist. It's likely this mission was created early on to help showcase what this game was all about, but it was removed after the full narrative and open world had been properly developed. In the retail game, players will communicate with multiple NPCs in this area, and accept various contracts before going into the open world environment. Characters require you to approach them, and won't move around the environment like what was suggested in 2017, removing a bit of that dynamic feel that the reveal had. After accepting the mission, the player then moves to the Javelin platform. There's been a few changes to this area as well. First, the platform has been rotated slightly, making the stairs appear in line with the bazaar's main walkway. There's a few more NPCs working in the final retail version, but instead of operating on actual javelins, they're just repairing the stations themselves. The engineer that works on your javelin has also been changed. Originally, this character was wearing overalls with a headlamp and short hair, and despite not saying anything for the brief time she's on screen, she seemed to have more personality than what we ended up with. The final model is fine and has some incredible detail, but the outfit design feels far less inspired and comes off as generic.
What happened?
Right, so now we have the javelin itself. Bear in mind that because the platform is rotated slightly, the ranger javelin is not in the exact same position, so the lighting is a bit different. But I think it's safe to say that the lighting in the E3 demo is just superior in this shot. The darker background helps to set the foreground apart and draws focus more appropriately than the final retail version. As for the textures and javelin design, they're pretty darn close. In fact, some of the textures as the player climbs into the suit are identical, only that they appear more crisp and higher res in the final retail version. Now that the player is in the javelin, a sequence plays out with the player slowly emerging from the fort in their new suit, which was likely used as a transitionary sequence as the game loaded. However, the final retail version does not feature the sequence, and instead gives the player a menu with options for which mission they'd like to play and if they'd like to invite friends to join them. After confirming their selection, the game then shifts to a standard loading screen and cuts to the javelin smashing into the ground at whichever checkpoint that the player chose. Here, we finally get to see the outdoor environment and just how much it has been reduced in scope for the final version of the game. Don't get me wrong, the final retail version still looks gorgeous in pretty much every aspect, but there's no doubt at all that the game was initially going to be far more ambitious. In fact, you can see just how ambitious based on the fake backdrop that they used as a placeholder for their open world. The valley below shows a river that would likely have taken a few minutes to reach had it existed in the final game. Unfortunately, the valley has had its distances reduced by a large margin, with this river appearing much closer, and the overall draw distance has been scaled back considerably. The design of the environment has changed a great deal, with the large mesa to the right now appearing much closer
is smaller,
and featuring its multiple waterfalls. Even small details like the waving flags on the platform have also been removed. For lighting, I tried my best to match up the time of day by waiting for the sun to move into approximately the same position as the demo, but they still look very different, with much less global illumination and accurate volumetric lighting in the final retail version. As the player jumps off the cliff, you can more clearly see the massive valley below. The final game, however, shows the true scope of the open world, with large cliff sides, trees, and waterfalls, with lots of vertical gameplay opportunities. The tunnel that the player flies through on the left has been reduced in size, and the herd of stampeding animals are no longer present. The large, dense jungle area has also been changed, almost to the point where I didn't recognize where I was when I started playing. I eventually found a familiar landmark, this broken stone arch, and it became immediately clear what had happened to the environment that they had created. A ton of the trees have been removed, in addition to various ferns, shrubs, grass, and broken tree trunks. The area itself looks barren now, and the encounter with a large monster near the ruins no longer happens. It appears that a lot of the more dynamic encounters with creatures and characters have been removed, with special animations like this one no longer occurring in the more open-ended parts of the experience. After this encounter with the large creature, the player then jets off along a river and runs into a random encounter with a group of scars near the stone archway. I've never run into scars near this archway in the final game, but instead I occasionally ran into these larger insect-like enemies instead. From here, the player dives under the water, revealing a large crevice and a bit of sea life. This still occurs the same way in the final game, though the coloration has changed slightly, and the depth of field effect has been reduced to make distant objects underwater more visible. As the player begins to emerge, you can see bullets whizzing by in the water, and again, I'm not sure if this still happens because I was never able to get Scar enemies to spawn along the side of this river. But what I did notice is that the reflective surfaces no longer properly reflect light from player-made explosions and various gunshots. I tried multiple explosives on these enemies in approximately the same location, but never once managed to replicate the reflective properties of the water in the E3 demo. After the fight, the player looks off to the left at a cave that they plan on exploring later. This cave doesn't feature the same blue glow, but is otherwise mostly the same. Again, you'll notice significantly less vegetation here and lower quality lighting, but the general layout is still very similar. Finally, we get to the main mission objective, where a large strider walks into the valley and collapses with an impressive explosion.
They do not walk.
Unfortunately, in the final game, since this mission no longer exists, the strider just stands here and does nothing. It's possible this sequence happens during a different mission later in the game, but I haven't found anything similar up to this point. And the fact remains that the original mission that featured this event has been removed. I also found another group of enemies and tested the explosive payloads on
you
them
just
to see
said
how they
it.
compared visually, but unfortunately, these also look a bit less impressive. There's a nice amount of particle effects associated with them, and it still looks really cool, but the original E3 demo did feature more realistic smoke effects and fireballs. Overall, I'm pretty disappointed with the overwhelming amount of downgrades that have occurred since the 2017 debut. The game's dynamic nature has been stripped away, with random encounters with alien monsters feeling less organic to the experience, and the amount of detail to every environment has been reduced by a great deal. But at the same time, what's left over is not a bad looking game. In fact, Anthem is probably one of the better looking games to come out of this console generation. The character models look incredible, the lighting, while scaled down, still looks great, and the lush jungle environments mixed with its unique sci-fi setting really help to create a beautiful presentation. But
Thanks. Now, before you buy,
another episode of Before You Buy. Say it with me now. The show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our
Game
first
ranks.
impressions of the latest
go.
games releasing. And today we're talking about Anthem. Yes, it's finally here. Now, keep in mind, full transparency, this is first impressions of the early access version of the game that we've been playing since it was available, and we maxed out the 10-hour trial with most of this footage recorded on Xbox One X and some Xbox One S, with a little poking around on the PC as well. Anthem very obviously includes more content past the 10 hours, including more endgame stuff and eventual free planned updates coming in March, because it's the nature of the game. It's a games as a service game. This game could very much look drastically different 6 months from now, a year from now. Same
don't
goes
even
for
know.
the day one patch that's releasing on the real launch day, not the first launch day. It improves a lot of things, but still, what I'm looking at is just the bigger picture here. From what I've played, I'm just not that into it. It's not a total disaster like some people are making it out to be, but it's still very much not a game for me. If it is for you, good. I'm going to try to be measured here. Anthem is very much a looter shooter. A game designed to keep you endlessly playing, earning things, crafting things, finding weapons with cooler names and better stats, and customizing your Javelin mech suit. I've already had people get mad at me for daring to compare it to something like Destiny, The Division, or hell, the really beloved Warframe, but hey, just so you get it, know that it can be considered structured roughly like those games. And these types of games are not for everyone, but thankfully, at least, Anthem is a competently made shooter at that. In a lot of ways, it is like the Iron Man simulator I was hoping it would play like when it was first announced. You know, flying around in your Javelin is just cool. There's a distinctive and really satisfying crack of your jets as you blast off, and it's really easy to navigate and fly and dodge to your liking just through the environment and during combat as well. The entire mechanic of flying, from the feedback to the sound to the way it controls, is just really well done. And shooting works fairly well too. Enemies themselves sometimes have like a light floaty feel to them. It's only the case with some creatures, but it's weird. But the weapons and firing them, especially against larger characters, feels really satisfying. Using your abilities and your ult especially does make you feel like you're kicking ass, especially when you set up a really good combo using everything wisely. Not to mention the fact that you can do a lot of it while flying or hovering, just makes it feel really intuitive and easy to master as well. It's absolutely at its best when it's challenging though, like Strongholds in particular. Feels like the game is really getting into its best groove. If you're playing with a group of good friends and big challenging event, that moment-to-moment play can be really fun. But the other half of the game, the thing that everything is designed around, I just didn't find compelling. I'm talking about progression, looting, and the grind. None of it, to me, feels satisfying or rewarding enough, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm gonna try. Dropping a new weapon with better stats or re-rolling that weapon through the crafting thing just doesn't give me that rush like other loot-based games do. Guns, from what I've dropped, aren't exciting and generally just don't change as much as I'd like. There's not a lot of fanfare about it, and not a lot of difference. Armor, while handled differently than other loot and crafting drops in the game, it is different. It just still doesn't come off as attractive or filled with amazing armor looks to grind towards as I'd hoped. I'll give them major points for actual customization of the Javelin's color and material-wise, though. I had a lot of fun picking out weird color concepts and look at other players being either complete badasses or dumb monstrosities, but the progression for me just wasn't satisfying enough to chew into. The loop isn't as satisfying as I think it should be. To keep me coming back weekly for more rewards and stuff. On many loading screens, the game constantly reminds you that things and rewards and content occurs on a weekly basis, but that would only work for me if I really felt the desire to come back week after week, and frankly, I just don't. Even if it does improve with endgame and updates, which it likely will, the fact that I don't like it now is already enough of a turnoff, and it might be for some other people. Another thing is that even though the game is getting a lot of free updates and stuff, which is really nice, a little turnoff, the multiple currency microtransaction fueled store essentially presents itself right front and center in the second tab of the pause menu. Like, you have to scroll past it to get to other important things you would access more regularly, so that might jam some people up. Look, this is a games as a service game, so there's a whole other conversation as to whether or not I should be judging this game on day one, as it will likely get better as more stuff is added to make it less repetitive, and tweaks to the loot and progression improve to just make continuous play more compelling. So I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to be really measured here because I wanted to like Anthem, and I believe some of the foundation is good. But the other argument with games as a service is, are they actually good? Lots of people will tell you, no, it's hot trash, they'll say. Anthem is divisive just like that. But putting that aside, one thing I was really looking forward to at the very least was that BioWare touch. Hell, this is the people that made Mass Effect, the good ones, Dragon Age, Jade Empire, KOTOR. I mean, I was expecting some sort of grand, personalized RPG experience in some way.
Empty in there.
Seeing as how the game has featured lots of characters and dialogue choices, but it falls somewhat flat. There's lots of jargon, it's heavy on world building, to me almost a little too much because a lot of things the game doesn't do a good job of making you care about. But I'll say that a lot of the characters are fairly enjoyable and fun to watch on screen in their expressiveness and their voice acting. Early on, Owen, in particular, makes a great first impression, and more characters are introduced after a few hours that really shake things up. Cutscenes are absolutely dazzling because the game can look pretty good at times, and the music and everything is big budget and top notch. But ultimately, existing in the world is where it loses me. Fort Tarsus feels utterly lifeless compared to what I was expecting. I appreciate the fact that there are different factions in their own little areas where I can interact with them and rank up individual loyalties for them, but if it wasn't for that and a few other things, I'd just resort to sticking to the simplified social hub area where I can just access a lot of the things without going to the depressing world. It feels very much like a template for them to add stuff. They probably will. It's fine on paper, the art direction is cool, but I'd prefer if it were just more interesting day one. This is a matter of personal taste, of course. I don't really find the world you explore with your javelin to be that exciting either. It's big, it's huge, there's lots of enemies to kill, but even if the game doesn't want to encourage me to explore, that's fine, but just, it's not interesting at all for me. Also, briefly, performance is something I think we need to talk about. It works fine on Xbox One X or PS4 Pro, it's more stable, but on One S like I experienced, and presumably a base PS4, the frame rate is extremely subpar. The game should at least be stable. Look, like I said in the beginning, the moment-to-moment combat is the best aspect of the game. Do yourself a favor, once you unlock multiple javelins, definitely try out the Colossus. He became my favorite later in. Playing with friends in a really hard combat area can merit some fun, but the rest of the bones of the game just aren't there yet. Like I said, I think the foundation is strong, but a foundation is only a foundation. I'm not really into anything else the game wants me to engage in, really. If you are into it, good. I'm happy you found a game like this to enjoy, but I'm not sold. But now, of course, this is a before you buy. You know how this works by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and a lot of personal opinion thrown in there. So now I definitely want to hear yours down in the comments. Everybody's got something to say about this game. So just let loose. Let's go. I'm sure some people are going to be mad that I was too hard on the game, and I'm sure some people are going to be mad that I wasn't hard enough on the game. Ultimately, though, man, as a BioWare fan, I am a little let down. But again, we want to talk about this down in the comments. Let's do it. If you
it. All right, this is the Angry Joe Show. He's gonna talk about some of the issues and then some of the positive things about the game.
Loading screens you'll be looking at as you try to play. It's hard to get into a groove when every few seconds, bam, a loading screen smashes you in the face.
Is it me or do you agree? Sometimes you feel like you're playing more loading screens than game.
Yeah, especially when you're playing with a different group. They don't really let you enjoy the game.
When a player picks up Anthem, I want them to feel like they're a hero. And I want them to be able to do it easily. I don't want to put a lot of friction in place where they have to, find different people to play with and have different groups and timelines for them to play. I want them to be able to get into the game easily.
Whatever engine, whatever system was used here is at the detriment of immersion. I'd forego these score screens to have it replaced with an in-options inventory tab where I can switch my weapons on the fly, check out which items I got from drops, and equip them where necessary. All within the same open world session, easily moving on to the next contract. But no, instead it's a loading screen. And sometimes these things take longer than the actual missions themselves.
That was true.
Ruins. The loading, I cut up the loading and I cut up the actual gameplay, not cheating in any way. The loading took longer than the actual gameplay. The mission we were able to complete like that. Loading was 5 minutes and 20 seconds total. The actual gameplay, 4 minutes, 23 seconds of actual gameplay. And this was for the Arcanist Runes contract. And you'll be playing a lot of this shit over and over.
But you know what? Anthem has way bigger problems than loading screens.
What's up?
Let's just forget all about them. Forget I even brought them up. Because what's even more of an issue is Anthem's progression, its story, its pacing, its crap loot, its awful AI, its lack of information for the player, its
stop.
anemic endgame, and its annoying-ass NPCs that have a knack for telling me their whole fucking story every single time I brush by them.
What did I do? Oh yeah.
Gosh.
You want to hear more?
God, no.
Great. After that, I was walking into the living room, and I hear this high-pitched noise.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
And I see my goldfish Jimmy just vibrating violently. I was like, what is going on?
Okay.
Out of nowhere, Jimmy just blows up like that. I'm like, no, Jimmy! I run over there and get all little pieces. I put them in this little plastic bag. I was going to go and throw them in the trash.
This
Because I
is
don't want to
funny.
flush Jimmy down the toilet.
That
Because that's where
sucks.
shit goes. Jimmy is not shit. He's my pet goldfish. So I go throw him in the trash. But as soon as I go outside, you'll never guess who I saw. Take a guess.
We just end this.
Give a damn.
I'll tell you anyways. It was Charles.
Ah.
Charles owes me money. So I'm like, hey, Charles.
This
where's
is
my money
funny.
at, man? I start walking towards him, and then he starts walking faster.
Okay.
trying to avoid me.
Wait.
And this group of dogs come out of nowhere, and then start attacking him. And he's yelling, hey, help me, please. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, you owe me $5. So I walked back to my house. I don't want none of that. I walked back to my house, and then all of a sudden, I shat my pants. And that is why it's dangerous to eat leftover Taco Bell.
Oh my God.
But before we dive into all these issues, let's take a look at the positives of Anthem so that you see I'm giving this game a fair chance. I wanted Anthem to succeed. And yes, this game does get some things right. Things I was sort of expecting in a looter shooter in 2019. Its flight, its gameplay, and its graphics. One of the best parts of Anthem, and what helps separate it from its peers, is its ability to take flight.
Clearly the flying is the best part of the game.
Oh, by far. I feel like the Rocketeer.
That's an obscure reference.
So many people have compared it to an Iron Man simulator, and maybe, they're right. It's just so liberating. This amazing new level of verticality in the game, this method of transportation that's much more fun to just take off and fly around in this world than on some sparrow or huffing it on foot. Just taking to the skies whenever you want and really seeing the spectacular looking vistas that BioWare has constructed is rightfully awe-inspiring.
What's next? Oh yeah, so this guy called Your Anthem. He was doing like Anthem videos just about every day, I believe. And he did a state of the game a month in, and then a state of the game 2 months in. So let's see how the game fared 2 months later. He's very detailed because he was playing Anthem a lot. This whole channel was just all Anthem. So whatever he's saying there, it's not at face value. It's from like hours and hours and hours of playing. So let's hop in and see what this is about.
So we are about a day or two removed from the official 2-month mark of Anthem's release. It has been an interesting last 2 months to say the least, and there's a lot that's been happening. So consider this video to be a kind of state of the game, everything that's happened, everything that is happening, and the future of the game, along with some very hard-hitting facts and truths. But before we get into all of that, what's going on, all of you fantastic freelancers? My name is William, and like I said, this video is going to be kind of a state of the game after 2 months, because there is a lot to cover. And as I said, there is going to be a lot of hard-hitting information.
Was I still playing for 2 months? I think I was playing for 2 months. Was I? Maybe. It may have lasted like 2.5 months.
Information, facts, and that's pretty much what this video is. Statements of facts and truths, and while it's not the most palatable to swallow and it may be very hard for some of you to hear this, it is what it is. However, if you're looking for a video that's going to bash Anthem or be excessively negative or toxic, then you've come to the wrong place. Like I said, this is the statement of facts, and I'm going to leave my opinions out of this as best as possible so not to dilute it. But this is where we're at 2 months later. First up, I want to go over these sales according to NPD, and these sales numbers come from a very reputable source. They cover everything in the gaming industry, trends, how much money was spent, so on and so forth. So this is good information. So Anthem was the top-selling game in February. I know I've seen conflicting reports where it was the second best-selling and then the first best-selling. We're just going to say it was the first best-selling for argument's sake, mainly because it was a very hyped-up game. Content creators were covering it left and right. There was a ton of advertisement done about it. The developers were active on Twitter answering questions left and right, plenty of live streams, a lot of good information that came out, press releases left and right, and of course, EA Game Changer program was in high speed, recruiting new content creators to advertise the game, come play it, and give feedback. So it kind of makes sense why Anthem was the top-selling game in February. However, March was significantly different, and I don't use the word significantly lightly. In the month of March, Anthem was the 11th best-selling game, behind games that had been out for quite a long time like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, amongst other newer titles like Sekiro and the better-performing looter-shooter as of right now, The Division 2. Why these sales numbers are important is because it is kind of a projection of how well the game is doing, especially with EA wanting to reach the, 38 million copies sold by the end of Q1 of 2019? It determines a lot for Anthem, including additional funding by EA and whether or not it's a worthy venture. Obviously, BioWare is still heavily invested into Anthem, and I commend them for it. They're hiring new producers and developers and artists and programmers and all sorts of things. Now, while that's not anything new or unheard of or a sign that Anthem is really and truly screwed, every game makes a shift from the development team to the live service team, and this is pretty much what those hirings are for. But there's no arguing the month of March was a pretty significant hit to the gut. Of course, some games will see fluctuations as they go up or down in popularity or how far away removed they are from their release. However, Anthem should have been riding the top 5 position for a good few months if everything had gone accordingly,
at least 3 months.
and it hadn't got the reception that it had. Speaking of reception, I know this statistic has been thrown around a lot, and clickbaity YouTubers have made it relatively well known and made it out as if it was law. While we don't have the official numbers of how many people are playing Anthem right now, there was a survey put out by Syntax the Great on Reddit who received over 1,000 responses. Now, this was posted in the Anthem game subreddit, and I don't need to tell you all how that subreddit is, which would probably reflect in what he found, which is that the Anthem player base is essentially in half. Now, there is no denying that there has been a drop-off in the player base, and I understand that, I get it. But whether or not this specific statistic is accurate remains to be seen. Like I said, it's only 1,000, which is a small sampling of the population, and plus you have to consider where the population comes from that was polled, i.e. the Reddit. Like I said, this should be taken with a grain of salt, but it is a noteworthy point to be made. The player base is not happy for the most part, and yeah, I know the people who watch this content are typically the people who are enjoying Anthem, and more power to you all, but I will agree that there is a good majority of players who are disgruntled, heartbroken, aggravated, and they're taking it out in different ways. But moving away from the statistics, let's actually look at the game itself.
Yes, the game.
Where certain features are, where certain mechanics are, and what they could look like in the future. First and foremost, let's get it out of the way, loot. Loot is not great right now. There is really no denying that. Even from the beginning, a Diablo 3 developer even made a Reddit post about how Anthem's loot system could be improved and what they learned from Diablo 3. There is a lot to be done on the loot system. I am glad to see that they are hiring a new loot producer or loot director specifically for that position, because something has to be done. The loot grind is not fun, and when that's pretty much half of your game being a looter shooter, I understand the grief there. I experience it daily, and it's one of the things that's kept me from playing Anthem as much as I would like to. But along with loot drops, we've got inscriptions, which inscriptions are a plague and a half. They could work really well, but for the most part, you really have your fingers crossed that this legendary is actually going to drop rolls that make it feel like a legendary, which is another problem we'll touch on in a moment. For instance, I got another Wyvern Blitz the other night, and golly, it was a legendary and it was a pathetic roll selection. It had like a 20% damage increase, 15% reload speed, a really crummy 30% sniper ammo, and I think it was like another damage modifier, but it was in the 30s to 40s. I have a
Yeah, the inscriptions just didn't seem to work for the weapons that they were on. Like, you'd get a handgun with like sniper boost, so you have to use a sniper with it for it to work. And then the rerolling was also a headache in itself too. Sheesh.
Wyvern Blitz that's a masterwork that is far superior to it at least 3 times over. Personally, I feel that there should be tiers to not only regular loot, but masterwork and legendaries for weapons, gears, attachments, and so on. If I do a GM1 Stronghold, I want to gear up with GM1 masterworks and legendaries to go and do GM2 content. After I do that, I've got enough of the tier 2 stuff that I can go up to tier 3. And as I climb up the tiers, they have certain lockouts for the inscriptions. So if I did level 1, it would be like 0 to, let's say, 20. If I did GM2, it would be like 20 to 70 or 90. If I did GM3, it would be 90 all the way to 250 or whatever. At least that way, you would have some sort of interest with the loot and a reason to go up in those tiers. Right now, there is no aspirational content.
So you could do easy content and Grandmaster 3 content and basically get the same loot drops.
There is no reason that you are gearing up aside to go and do a GM3 that drops the same stuff that you would get from a GM1 more times than not.
Just said
and
it.
It's aggravating, I feel. And lastly, on loot, legendaries don't feel anything of significance. Yeah, you can get a God Roll, and I commend you if you get a God Roll. Fantastic, well earned.
BRB.
I've got a God Roll grenade on my Ranger that has 4 charges, and I practically get my ultimate every minute. That feels like something that is worthy of a legendary. This crappy Wyvern Blitz I got doesn't feel like a worthy legendary. No matter what you do, the legendary should feel better than Masterworks. And the inscriptions should reflect that, not have the same inscription tables as the masterwork, possibly even having 2 abilities to a legendary. But this discussion is kind of moot. Right now, the loot is not great, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the loot system. I think a complete overhaul is necessary, but what do you all think about it? Do you have any ideas? Let me know in the comment section below. But moving on, gameplay. Admittedly, there is no paralleling Anthem's gameplay, at least the flight mechanics, and while some will say it's a gimmick, I will say it's a pretty nice and unique element to a game. It gives you a lot of approaches on how to take the battle to the enemy. You can hover, you can fly, you can stay on the ground, you can do whatever. Rain down death from above, or fly away from a significantly overpowered enemy. That's one thing I missed while playing The Division 2, which is a great game, by the way. Thoroughly enjoy it, but there is no escaping how wonderful
You'll wake up hungry in a little bit.
Being able to traverse one area of the map to another seamlessly and getting to experience these glorious views and possibly a few free play events if you're lucky in between feels pretty great. Not to mention the gunplay is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's absolutely phenomenal, but it is a pretty good weapon system. And lastly, on the gameplay side of things, as far as how it feels, you have to commend BioWare for the 4 javelins and being able to interchange between any of them. The Colossus feels totally different from the Ranger. The Ranger feels nothing like the Interceptor, and the Storm doesn't have the mobility of the Interceptor, but it has something unique. It can hover, it has an overall shield. It's impressive. There's no denying that. At the very least, Anthem nails those 3 areas. But moving on to the reasons why you keep coming back to play. I'll level with you all. About 2 weeks ago, I took a hiatus from Anthem. I would only go and record for maybe a Stronghold or the Elysian Caches or something, so I have something to play in the background of the videos. I'd be done, I would post the information, throw the video behind it, and be done. I've got a little over 350 hours logged into Anthem right now, which is saying a lot. I got my money's worth out of Anthem, but there are very few reasons to keep coming back, at least from a progression standpoint. I mean, to each their own. I've seen plenty of people say that, oh my gosh, Anthem's wonderful, it's the only game I play, and kudos to you all. But even me as an Anthem content creator has a hard time figuring out why do I keep coming back when the loot isn't great and there's no overall progression or no aspirational content to look forward to. But like I said, that's to each their own. There are the small content updates that do bring players back, and the featured store being updated to bring up new cosmetics is, I guess, another reason for you to log in. I know that gives me about 30 minutes of entertainment. I buy the armor sets, I shift around a few color schemes, and then I screen cap them and put them in the thumbnails for the videos. It's entertaining, but it's not a real reason to keep coming back to play. Which kind of brings me to my next point, and that's the featured store. Which brings me to my next point, which is the featured store. It's not great. It is kind of predatory in the sense that, okay, it is really hard to get coins in Anthem. It is especially hard to get 61,000 coins to buy a set of armor, especially when they come out with 2 armor sets at a time.
That's
so
true.
What are you going to do? Skip out on the armor set and
Nope.
hope it comes back
Pay
in
money.
2 months? No. Unfortunately, you have to either buy the shards and get it, or, say Stugatz, I don't want it. Which sucks. What I think the featured store should be is when there is a major update or even a regular old update, it should bring with you a few armor packs. Because, we just did a data mine video. These assets are in the game. Put the armor sets in the Forge. Similar to what you get when you first log into Anthem for the first time ever, you go over to the buy feature in the Forge, and you see a couple items that you can buy with your coins. When there's a new update, release armor, vinyls, or whatever else you're going to do, animations, and so on. Then have the featured store offer them up at a discounted rate for either shards or coins. Kinda like what Warframe does, and I commend their system. It works really well, and I've never seen anybody complain about it. And it's worked for them for a considerable number of years, at least as long as I can remember, and I've been playing that game for 6 years. It also gyps people that the only way they can get new cosmetics is, the featured store, or at least anything of any relevance or decency. Just look at Elysian Caches. That was supposed to be the answer to the whole cosmetic debacle with the featured store. Here you go, do a couple quests, get a key, go open up the cache and get some cosmetics. That sounds pretty good to me. If the cosmetics were worth anything. The vinyls and decals that I've gotten are less than stellar. I'm not impressed with them, and I know a number of you have not been impressed with them either. They were small, quickly drawn together, thrown together, and they don't feel like anything significant. My good buddy iGame says the only reason why he grinded out those Elysian caches were for the emotes, and that would be all fine and well. But there is also another huge issue with the Elysian caches that really puts a damper on that vanity store solution. They added crafting materials. More crafting materials, in fact, than there are vanity items. That kind of blows my mind, especially with the crafting system not being anything of any decency. I can't remember the last time I crafted anything outside of the first 2 weeks of the game. The crafting system sucks, and it's another thing that needs to be revamped altogether, or maybe make a solution to where if you craft a certain number of masterworks or there's a chance of you crafting a legendary, I don't know. Point is, it's not great. And adding those items into the Elysian caches and more of them than there are cosmetics is a slap to the face. Here you go, some crummy cosmetics for you to go grind out. You've got 168 of them. Good luck, you've got maybe a month to get them all. Okay, cool. So not only do I need to get all the keys and I have to go play with 4 people every day, but I've also got the chance of getting crafting materials. I've only gotten like 3 or 4 decals out of the entire deal, and I think like 16 of my chests were crafting materials, come to think of it. Point is, the cosmetics in Anthem need a rework or revamp altogether. Something that is more consumer friendly, and something that rewards people just a bit more. And don't get me started on the coin grind, that's The coin grind is not great. That's all I'm going to say. Now, something that would have helped with people coming back, at least for the weekends, would have been the events. Now, some of you have been around for especially the first month of the game. You'll remember that event called There Be Titans, or There Be Giants. And in the event, you went and you hunted down 4 Titans, and that was kind of cool, going over through free play and hunting down Titans. And what was your reward? An okay-looking vinyl. It's actually one of my favorite vinyls in the game. That is something that is rewarding. That is something that'll keep people coming back, especially if you add tiers to the event. So maybe you're not able to get all the reputation you need for this first time, but the next time it comes back, you can get the next tier and the next tier. Kind of like what SWTOR does with its events, but that's a whole nother subject. Rewarding vanity items like armor pieces or armor sets or vinyls or animations or something would keep people coming back. But as it was stated in a previous dev statement, which, yeah, we'll be covering, most, if not all of the events have been postponed. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but the end game is non-existent. There is no aspirational content. There is no reason to keep grinding. Like I said, you can go do a GM3, but you're gonna get the same loot more times than not, and purples and blues galore like you would in GM1. There's nothing really to set your eyes on or a new horizon to go after. With the Division 2, there's strongholds. With Destiny 2, there are raids. Raids with lockouts. Raids that require your team to work together in tangent, to solve puzzles and all sorts of things.
Destiny was really good with raids,
Anthem
man.
has none of that. It has strongholds, and it has legendary contracts. That's it. Moving on to something that really does suck, especially coming from a Bioware game, is Fort Tarsus feels kind of dead after you finish that last conversation. No matter who it is or what quest giver you've talked to, it feels dead. No one's talking, there's no interactions, there's no spontaneity. It just feels like you're going from the start of the Enclave all the way to the Forge, and that's it. That's all you've done. If you go anywhere else to explore within the fort, you'll find the same thing. NPCs moving around, not saying a word. Even taking a page from KOTOR 1 or KOTOR 2, with you being able to go up to allies or companions or what have you, and have the same conversation over and over again if you wanted. I think Bioware really missed out on a huge opportunity with doing the select your own choices for conversation. Having that option of what you want to say that would add to a certain level of personalization with your character. But that's not the point. Fort Tarsus just feels dead. The world feels dead. You leave Fort Tarsus and you shoot up some stuff, and that's the game. Now, there is something that I do want to touch on that, good God, I've gotten so many DMs and private messages about this, but it's a statement that Ben and Chad made a few days ago that I made a video on and we discussed in great detail. A card to that will pop up right about now. In the statement by Ben and Chad, it starts off with, "Hey everyone, it's been 10 weeks since the early access release of Anthem." People are taking that out of context. The early release means the early access, the 7-day early access that Origin Premier members and some Xbox people got to experience. We all know what it meant. Now, while Anthem may feel like an early access game to some, I get it. I completely understand where you're coming from, and I respect your point of view. But they did not confirm or say or even allude to this game being an early access. Even if it feels like it, that's not what they said. They said it's been 10 weeks since the early access release of the game. The early access 7-day access. Doesn't help that content creators are making clickbait videos and just absolutely trying to tear down Anthem as much as they can. As many of you know, I was in broadcast journalism for a number of years. And even then, we never had this level of, quite frankly, BS. Lying to an audience and trying to manipulate a statement by the developers is downright dishonest, and it's a real crime to journalism. So, once and for all, one final cleared up statement: Anthem is not an early access. Yeah, it released, and it might be a disappointment to some of you, and it may feel like an early access or very bare bones. That's your opinion. The game had an official release. It had an official launch. The whole "this is how games launch these days" is early access motto is getting old, and it's a tired out mantra. But let's move away from that. Essentially, now we are down to what's the future of Anthem. As it currently stands, the roadmap for Act 1 has kind of been scrapped. And I wouldn't say scrapped, maybe reworked is a better choice of words. The team has decided to delay new features in favor of getting the game right, fixing mechanics, fixing the loot, fixing the bugs with the Plagueis Frostbite engine, making some quality of life improvements, balances, and so on and so forth. Essentially, they're having to rebuild the foundation, which does suck, and it really is unfortunate for a game that's only been out for 2 months. I would rather them do this than release new stuff and new features on top of a crumbling foundation.
That's all they were doing.
I commend them for it. They are taking their mistakes on the cuff. They're not hiding it. And if you look back at other games that have done this, it's worked out pretty well. The Division, if any of you were around for that, was a mess. They decided to cancel new features and go back and work on the foundation, and suddenly it became a better game. Final Fantasy had a release a few years ago, or recently, I'm struggling to remember the exact timeline. I think it was Final Fantasy 14, that they took the game offline altogether for a few months
They
in
should have
order to
done
fix
that.
it and get it right. They released it, and it was a re-release game, and it's a pretty good Final Fantasy. It's arguably the best Final Fantasy of any of them. Granted, I don't have too much time in the Final Fantasy franchise, but it received high praise after its re-release. As far as my thoughts on the future of Anthem, the development team has owned up to their mistakes. It's no secret that Anthem's had a rocky start, and no secret that it's had a rocky 2
Your whole
months.
team down,
Things are
bro.
going to get worse before they get better. I said that in a video a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure there are going to be a few more bumps in the road before any significant improvements are made. Hopefully with the new player test environment and the hiring of new members of the team to fix the game's foundation, there might be some hope after all. If someone was to ask me right now if they should buy Anthem, I would honestly caution against it. Not because the game is a disappointment, not because there's not enough to do, not because of any real significant reason other than I want them to experience Anthem when it's at its peak. And we haven't seen its peak yet. All we have seen so far is hard times, left and right. We haven't seen any peaks, we haven't seen any epiphanies. So my advice to people who are wanting to buy the game right now, hold off. Wait 3 months, or however long it's going to take before the game is really and truly what it should have been at launch.
Yeah, I'll wait it too long. I hope not.
To say, but it's how I feel. Like I said, I left my opinions out of the video for the most part. This is my honest and true opinions of Anthem. As a journalist, as a gamer, and as a content creator. This doesn't mean that I'm not still enjoying Anthem. I'm actually still having a blast. I have a renewed amount of energy and I'm having fun. And if you're having fun with Anthem too, I commend you. I salute you. This is not me defending the game. This is not me defending the developers. This isn't me trying to even make any excuses. If you actually listen to my content, I don't make excuses. If there are logical reasons for something, yeah, I'll give them. And whether or not you accept them, that's another thing. But there are no excuses to be made. And the developers know this. The team knows this. And it doesn't help anything to be negative and complain / spew toxic sludge at the team and the developers. They know what's wrong and the feedback is the exact same stuff over and over again. If you don't like Anthem, that's great. No one is forcing you to play the game or even watch content on it. Go do something you enjoy. Go play something you enjoy. But if your enjoyment is stemmed from spewing toxicity and negativity, I would encourage you to do some soul searching. As always, we will be monitoring Anthem very closely.
Yeah, this is a video of what happened like later on in the game, where legendaries would drop, but you won't be able to get them. You can't even get in, and there's a legendary right there. And you're stuck. Now he has to leave the game and let the legendary stay there. Brother. VGS made all the cutscenes put together. So time to watch Anthem, baby. Let me get out the way.
Built it vanished, leaving behind their instruments that
Be back soon. I'm gonna get some water.
These ancient relics harness an unknowable force we call the Anthem of Creation. But the Anthem refuses to be controlled. To survive, our ancestors invented the javelins and built cities with great walls. Today, it falls to a dedicated group of heroes to face the chaos, protect our homes, and fight for our very survival. We are freelancers. We leap head-on into danger, rescuing the lost, keeping the monsters at bay, and silencing the Anthem's terrible cataclysms. But not all cataclysms are created equal. And even freelancers are wary of the untamed power of the Anthem.
This is it. Closest we get with the Striders.
Agreed. Looks like we fly from here. Alec, hear that? Yep. All teams,
away from the cenotaph, and the storm is worse than we thought.
Okay, this is as close as we're gonna get to the center without the strider getting ripped to shreds. Let's go, freelancers. Suit up!
How crazy will this get?
No idea. Never tried to shut down a cataclysm this big.
Oh, steady, Faye. None of us come out of this alive without our cipher.
Stay safe out there. Remember, we're a team. I'm right there with you.
Okay, freelancer. You might be new, but you won't be here if you didn't show promise.
Hey, Helen, what's up? Waiting for it to die down out there? Let's go!
Thought you could use a head start.
See you at the cenotaph. We're heading out.
Okay, everyone. Let's stop this cataclysm from growing. From killing everything.
I don't know, Halleck. Haven't seen anything like this before.
Look, everyone. I won't be here if I thought this storm could beat me, right? Heart of Rage is no different than the hundreds of other Shaper ruins we've dealt with. It's just bigger. This is what we do. So we're gonna go in there and we're gonna take on whatever unholy beast it spits at us, and we're going to tame that thing. Together.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ready, Javelin 1?
Ooh, ready. Strong alone, stronger together.
True.
Let's go.
The whole movie, man.
Check in. I've got you, Faye, loud and clear.
Yeah, Wayland is strong so far.
Storm gets worse ahead. Try and find a calm pocket for you. Steady, Miller. Your heart rate is too high. Hello. Check in, please.
Little busy, okay? No worries on me. That one.
Team, our rookies handle with a wyvern.
Here's how the game starts.
Freelancer, thank goodness you survived, but your Javelin needs a restart. I'll bring systems back one at a time. Starting voice recognition.
Voice.
Ray? Ray, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. That was a bad fall. How's your head? You remember the mission?
Think so. Where am I?
You're in a cataclysm, terrible storm, called the Heart of Rage. You need to get to the center and shut it down by silencing the cenotaph.
Got it. Rookie, there you are. Get in here. Base calling a retreat. We got this.
Almost there.
Team, you need to retreat.
Look, oh, brother.
Not good.
He's gone. I'm sorry.
This thing is going down. Come on!
Oh.
Get back to the Strider. This mission is over.
I can do it. Look at this, Faye. We have to silence the cenotaph.
Please, I'm barely holding it together.
Retreat isn't an option. Not now. We got this, bastard. We have to get out of here. No. We push on. We're the only ones left. Think about Miller and Adair. All the others. You being a coward. I'm no coward. No? You want to push forward until I get killed. Until we both get killed.
Boy. Squad up.
Where'd that come from? Go. Babe, we're coming back. No. It beat us, Halleck. We need to regroup. It can't beat us. Rookie, don't you dare pull me out of here.
Oh, we're out of here.
During the failed attempt to silence the Heart of Rage, we lost more than freelancers. more than friends and comrades. We lost the faith of the people we protect. So the freelancers scattered, searching for ways to redeem themselves. The few who remained carried on, finding new allies where they could. Doing their best to help a people who no longer called the freelancers heroes.
2 years after the events in the Heart of Rage.
I'm at the coordinates, Owen.
Impressive entrance, as usual.
Nice to be appreciated.
Don't sell yourself short, mate. A cipher couldn't ask for a better partner.
You could ask, but not many of us left.
The relay's a short flight away.
Okay, last one. Here goes.
Careful. Anything's
Possible. I know.
You know, I heard a relic made a guy vanish into thin air once. I've no idea where he went. Which isn't as lucky as the freelancer whose guts were turned inside out.
How's that lucky?
At least he died and got it over with.
This is a pain.
They all are. Indecipherable puzzles that only make sense to shapers.
No, I mean there's ice jamming it up.
We're out of time. Silence it.
I'm trying to.
Well, nobody told him. It's an Essex.
It's not working.
Oh, put your back into it.
Got it.
Well, at least now I've got a new story. That time a relic spawned a giant Essex that almost ate you whole.
Yeah, classic for the ages. I'd say that fulfills the contract.
Time to get back to Fort Tarsus. Two-way job, well done.
The only kind there is. I'm on my way.
Damn, baby.
Here we are, back in Fort Tarsus. The last stop on the Bastion frontier.
If it isn't my favorite freelancer. I hear you've been busy.
Ah, you know how it is, though. Another day, another disaster averted.
What have you done this time?
Nothing. My armor's fine. Probably. I hope.
Yeah, you see what I mean? You picked up on that, right? Little warble? It's warbling, right?
All readings fall within acceptable tolerances.
You gotta look past the numbers for once in your life. Something is off. The connection is a bit fuzzy.
How do you quantify fuzzy?
You don't quantify fuzzy? You don't measure it, you don't count it, it's nothing like that. It's a feeling.
Everything okay here, Owen?
Yeah, well, on your last mission, I noticed that the cipher chair was giving off some very strange feedback.
All readings fall within acceptable tolerances.
Well, it's your call, but if you ignore it and something goes wrong...
I will find an arcanist and perform a full protocol inspection on this unit.
There's nothing wrong with the chair, is there?
No.
Why are you always stirring up trouble?
What are you talking about? I've just done her a massive favor. You've got no idea how boring it is being a Fort Cipher. She does not get to work with a freelancer. She does not get to see the world through the eyes of a javelin pilot. No. You know what she gets to do? She gets to relay official messages back and forth to ciphers at the capital day after day after day.
Some people like boring. Not everyone's cut out to be a freelancer.
So you have said. But you have to admit, that last mission would have gone better with a partner.
I have a partner. You. Every good javelin pilot needs a cipher.
That is not what I meant. Look, if I had a suit of my own, I could be out there in the field with you.
I'll down your boosters, hotshot. With more training, you'll get your chance, I promise.
Fine. Not like we could afford a space suit anyway. Job board is empty.
We'll figure something out. We always do.
Yeah. Do you ever regret missing out on the glory days? Back when freelancers were treated like heroes. Contracts would just fall into their laps. Everywhere they went, they were given respect. And free sandwiches.
Free sandwiches?
Yeah, I haven't had my lunch yet. I'm starving. We're on a tight budget here.
Budget has room for sandwiches.
You're probably right.
You know what? Why don't you head over to the forge, get your javelin tuned up, so we're ready to roll if a contract does fall into our laps.
Owen, you need something?
What are you talking about? I just got a message from you saying to meet you at the forge.
I didn't send any. Why would I want to meet up here? Something's not right.
We needed to speak in private. My name is Tassin.
Do you always travel with a security escort?
Not always. The Sentinels have their uses.
Well, you make a hell of an entrance, I'll give you that.
I have a contract for you, freelancer.
I like to know who I'm working for before I take a job.
Really? From what I hear, two of you will take about any job you can get these days.
What's the job?
An Arcanist has gone missing.
Missing? I thought Arcanists just hung out in labs studying Schaefer relics.
Matthias Sumner was investigating some relics at a ruin near the fort. I need you to find him and bring him back home safe.
If he's still alive.
No one knows more about the dangers of Shaper artifacts. I'm confident that knowledge and his own resourcefulness will keep him alive until you find him. What do you say, freelancer? We'll make it worth your while.
Owen? Looks like the freelancer's right again. Well, us anyway.
Excuse me, I just got to... That is excellent. I will go and run my diagnostics. Let me know when you're ready to leave. It was a pleasure.
On behalf of myself and Matthias, thank you for doing this.
Okay, and if I have...
Find Matthias. Trust me, I'm a person you want to know.
See ya.
Freelancer.
Thanks for the save. That trouble was unexpected.
You often hang around outside the walls like that?
Occupational hazard, but this was different. Something's making the scars more violent.
I think it's the Dominion. We think they're back. I'm sure you must know Freelancer Yarrow.
I think Tassin's right. This feels like before the attack on Freemark.
The one that set off the Heart of Rage?
I don't really know the whole story.
I do. Much of what I am about to tell you is not well known. My ward, Johnny, was there 10 years ago. She saw it with her own eyes. What you will already know is that Freemark was one of the great cities of Bastion. Ancient, proud, prosperous. But most important, it held the largest and greatest enclave of freelancers anywhere. The freelancers, along with the Sentinels, guardians of the walls, protected Freemark and its people from the chaos of our world. Until one day, the Dominion arrived on their doorstep. Cruel conquerors from the north. The Dominion, the Sentinels, and the Freelancers would make their claim for Freemark that day. Each group heirs in their own right to the legendary General Tarsis and her Legion of Dawn. One of our best, Freelancer Adams, led the charge as the Enclave leapt to meet the Dominion forces head-on. My Johnny says the army was massive. The Dominion was led by Dr. Harkin, a man never seen before or after that day. He came to take the city at any cost. So they fought, outnumbered, outflanked, and outgunned. Freelancers fought. They did well, for a time. walls of the Great Free Mark did not hold. The Dominion poured in. Adams, with many freelancers, made their last stand outside the city walls. While some, like Johnny, stayed to help who she could. When, without warning, the doomed sentinels fell back. But now I tell you that deep in the city, Johnny discovered what the sentinels already knew. The Dominion didn't want to destroy Freemark. They wanted to capture an ancient Shaper relic that was protected deep inside the city. The Cenotaph. It seems this Dr. Harkin believed he had created a way for the Dominion to use the Cenotaph to control the Anthem of Creation itself. Arrogance. The Anthem will not be controlled. The terrible cataclysm, which was unleashed that day, destroyed Freemark, destroyed the Dominion, destroyed everything. That cataclysm became the Heart of Rage. Some survived to tell the story of Freemark, but not many.
Dominion must be back for a reason.
I clearly have more intel to hunt down. Come and find me later.
Yeah, me too. I'll contact you when I have something.
I'll be in the Enclave.
And there we are. The Dominion. Yeah, and they've got Tassin's agents. Best lie low.
Give us the relic. We know it's here.
I don't know what you mean.
Then I'll show you. No. That's not how we conduct business. I find that pain is no substitute for money. So let's negotiate.
The relics, not for sale.
See? Progress. You do have it. Now name your price and we all walk away with something.
Relics are dangerous.
Only if you're careless. Do I look careless? Medicine! We found the relic! A pity for you. Negotiations have concluded.
You bastard!
Oh, well, now this is awkward.
A freelancer? How useless. I fought your kind before, and I put them in the ground. You'll be joining them.
Owen filled me in on what happened.
You've got a problem out there. Some kind of Dominion heavy.
His people called in the Monitor. We couldn't stop him.
And he was there for a Shaper relic?
Tore the place apart. Your agent wouldn't give in. Right to the end, well,
I know.
I'm sorry. She left this archive behind.
I'll have my people dig into it. The Dominion really have returned.
In force.
Damn.
I thought spies took everything in stride.
We also respect our enemies. Life under Dominion rule isn't much of a life at all. And if they have set their sights on Fort Tarsis...
Right. Well, The fort isn't exactly my idea of living the dream, but it is home, and I'd prefer it to remain dictator-free. What can we do?
For now, remain patient. I don't want to make a move until I have more information. In the meantime, there's someone I'd like you to meet. Sentinel Bryn. She's sharp, trustworthy, and could use some assistance. Why don't you help her while I look into the Dominion? I'll be in touch.
Sentinel Rissa Bryn. Fort Command.
Sentinel, how can we help?
Well, we probably shouldn't talk here. Come see me by my desk. And my plants.
Plants?
Right. So, good. I will see you.
Okay, then. What's up?
What are you talking about? You called me, mate.
No, you...
Oh, hold on a second.
The Monitor is leading a mission back into the Heart of Rage. He wants to weaponize the Cenotaph. We decrypted the archive you recovered from the Regulator camp earlier, and we know why he's after unique Shaper relics.
Doesn't mean he'll succeed.
Did you know the Monitor was there when the Dominion attacked Freemark? One of the few who escaped when the Cenotaph leveled the city.
Oh, shit.
He's ruthless, driven, and savage. An incredibly powerful cipher and a brilliant pilot. He frightens even his own people.
The storm will tear him apart. No one survives the Heart of Rage.
You did. The intel also reveals that he's perfected a way to harness the power of the Cenotaph, and we cannot let that happen.
Obviously.
I need you to find a way through the Heart of Rage, get to the Cenotaph first, and silence it. Do what freelancers do.
Do what freelancers do? You're talking about a bloody cataclysm.
He's right. We aren't equipped to take that on.
Of course. Well, I can think of others who survived the Heart of Rage that day, who never let it go, studied it.
Ugh, come on.
I feel like I'm supposed to know this one.
My old partners, Alec and Faye.
Intel says the Monitor is on their trail. Suggests Faye has found something important. Last known location.
Oh, I can... So, Halleck and Faye. Intel says your partnership ended badly.
I don't know, we just kinda grew apart.
Really? Because I heard that Halleck never forgave you for pulling him out of that storm, and Faye went...
Where are we going?
Oh, right. Oh, you're kidding me. No, Halleck and Faye are working with Princess Zim.
The Regulator boss?
Oh, please, she's a smuggler at best. She's a full-fledged crime lord at worst. We really need them.
To get through the Heart of Rage and beat the Monitor to the Cenotaph? Yeah, we need them.
Do we? You and I? We're such a solid team already.
Of course. That's why Tassin picked us. You got my back, I got yours.
All right. Hey, considering that the Monitor is both Lancer and Cypher, we could probably use a very fabulous Cypher Javelin pilot combo of our own.
Owen, be patient. Pilot lessons are going fine, but seriously, it might take you years.
Okay. You know what? This might be fun. Apparently, Princess Zim's camp is like a traveling carnival. Now, it's a traveling carnival run by bloodthirsty gangsters, who like gifts. So you need to get us something to get in. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? How was the trip?
Well, the trip? Oh, it was fabulous. Yeah, I just love hitching a ride on a smuggler strider. It was first-class comfort all the way.
Behold the wonders of the palace. All hail Princess Zim. Long may she reign.
They do know that she is not a real princess, right? She's just a crazy smuggler with delusions of grandeur.
You scoped this place out yet?
What, you think I went in there alone? Are you crazy? No, I've been standing here waiting for you. Besides, it's your friends we're looking for.
Let's go find Halleck and Faye.
Come on. Hey, is that them over there?
Oh, pleasure doing business, Princess.
Our business is not yet completed.
No? I thought we had a
Who is this, Haluk?
No one.
An old friend.
Please, invite your old friend over to join us.
I'm sorry, but we gotta go.
No. First, we celebrate our new partnership in the tradition of my people. Come, closer, friend of Haluk.
Scorpid instinct, a highly
Baby waking
acidic,
up.
is going to burn going down. A lot.
BRB.
You know, I had a big breakfast.
Refusing a meal is a grave insult to your host.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Forgive my ignorance, Princess. I didn't know people could eat this.
I come from a harsh and unforgiving land. Plants are scarce. Animals even more so. Before the Dominion conquered us, we had a saying. Food is life. Life is struggle. We understood that. We embraced it. It helped make us strong.
Thanks for the meal, Princess.
That was just the appetizer. The main course.
Oh.
Behold, the pheromone sac of a young manticore, cured for an entire year in a vat of fermented chimera venom. A rare delicacy I have been saving for a special occasion.
After you, Princess.
I could not dishonor myself by eating while my guests go hungry.
I love Manticore.
Our deal?
Be sure to thank your friend Haluk.
Oh, you look a little green. Just need to sit down for a second.
What do you want?
I think what he meant to say was thank you.
I have a contract.
A contract? Well, we don't need your charity.
Excellent. Faye, Halleck, this is Owen.
Cypher and Lancer in the making.
Corvus sent me.
Corvus? Huh. What, you some kind of a hotshot now? You got a lot of nerve after all this time.
Quit being dramatic. Sit down.
I'd rather stand.
Let's all go back to the Strider. I'll explain.
We got our own thing going. Thanks, but no.
Wait. Something's not right.
Dominion troops! Clear out! Scatter!
We'll keep your friends safe.
Don't worry about me. I'll see you there. Woo! Ha, what a rush. I'd say we really took it to the Dominion back there, right? And I think we'll agree that I was pretty fantastic.
Oh, are you serious? That was a disaster. You were a disaster. Never do that again. Please.
Right. I'll just head to the amplifier.
Over here.
Nothing's changed. Well, I should probably at least paint it or something.
The corrosion adds a nice patina. Should we talk about the weather next, or have we fulfilled our quota for small talk?
I don't think there's a penalty for going over. Read any good books lately?
Thousands of them. It's been a long time, you know?
It's good to see you again.
Is it? You're not just here because you need something. It doesn't matter. You're back.
I'm still picking up a lot of Dominion radio chatter, but we're losing sight about the sewers. Oh no, sorry, why have we stopped?
Damn it all to hell!
Alec, you still haven't replaced that actuator?
It's still good. And shut up. I got this.
Yep, off to a great start.
Where's my socket wrench?
Left in the box, as usual.
Never thought you'd be back here.
Life's just full of surprises.
Switching off starboard power before it overloads.
Oh, come on. That's just half the fun.
Can we please hurry this up? They will be on top of us any minute now.
Pliers. So what are you doing here?
I'm helping you fix this garbage actuator. Again.
More reliable than some. So what's this contract of yours?
Can we please chat later? The Dominion will be here any second.
One, please, this is important. Just, you're not helping.
Screwdriver.
Which one? Use your words.
3/8, obviously.
I'm going back to the Heart of Rage.
Really?
The Dominion wants the cenotaph. Corvus hired me to get it first.
Well, that explains why Dominion troops showed up at Zim's.
Faye, light us up. Faye and I have 2 years of research and legwork on this. And you want what? Jump in the end and claim credit?
Halleck, time is of the essence. We have a lead that requires a Lancer right now. Shouldn't we work together?
No! I can handle it.
You've got the Dominion on your back, and you don't think that maybe you could use a hand?
We could find someone else.
You go right ahead, mate.
Not in time, we can't.
You need me, and I can't finish this contract without you.
One job. Just one. I got a Strider to drive.
You said you have a lead?
We might. One moment. As expected. Hold these, please.
You found something about the cenotaph or the Heart of Rage?
Zim did. Pays to have friends, you know.
Some friends.
I'm sure you've heard of the Legion of Dawn, General Tarsus.
What? General Tarsus?
Yeah, she entered the last Heart of Rage and reached the center, the cenotaph. How? I've done the research. Her javelin could do the impossible. It had unique shields and who knows what else.
Wait, you think you found her armor? The original Javelin of Dawn?
Yes, finally. Now we just need to go get it. Interested?
Well, personally, I can't wait to see it. Just give me whatever intel Her Highness had, and let's get the expedition started.
No need. I'll be supporting this mission. I've already done all the relevant research.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Freelancer, I trust your reunion with Halleck and Faye was productive.
There are a few less Dominion who will be bothering us.
Always good. So what's the next step?
The tomb of General Tarsus. They think her original javelin is still there.
I'll assume it's for more than just a historical tour.
Faye says that javelin could get us into the Heart of Rage.
Then I'm glad I could bring old friends back together.
Well, we're still getting, reacquainted.
Make it work. In the meantime, Corvus has other jobs that might interest you.
You're back.
I'll take any job I can get.
These aren't your usual run-of-the-mill contracts. They're tough.
I can handle it.
Then talk to my agent, Sev, for a full briefing. He's in the bar. Or rush in if you want. I know that's more the freelancer style. Whichever the case, keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you.
Faye? No sign of a javelin, but I think we just found General Tarsus.
Or are we into this? We're halfway into this. We might come back later and watch the rest. I'm gonna go and take care of the baby real quick. Hope you guys enjoyed this little tidbit of Anthem. You can always come back at a later time. It's just sad that the game is going away for good. I really hope somebody takes up the mantle and makes Anthem into what it needed to be and to all it could have been. This has been Wanted. Signing out. Strong alone, stronger together.